You are listening to CrossTalk, a safe place to discuss addiction, recovery, harm reduction, and everything in between. Support for this podcast comes from the Kentucky Opioid Response Effort and Advocates of Recovery. Content and production by the team at Turning Point Recovery Community Center. Now, buckle up and get ready for the show.
Welcome everybody to CrossTalk.
Blooper reel. Come on.
Welcome everybody to CrossTalk Recovery, the recovery podcast that supports all forms of recovery. I'm Matt Lewis, and I'm here with
Sam Peterson.
Nathan Brockett. You got to keep that in.
I'll leave it in there. I mean,
Last
it's been a while since I flubbed that one. At least I'm recording, I think.
Yeah.
I used to not record.
I mean, that was perfect.
Yeah. Last podcast of the year, too.
I seen you losing it. I was like, oh, he's going to mess this all the way up.
Yeah. Well, it's been a while.
A lot of holiday food, you know.
Yeah. We're recording this on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
We are. It is 11:50 right now. We're getting ready to do the countdown.
Yeah.
All lies. None of us are going to be
a 10-minute countdown.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be asleep by 10 o'clock tonight.
Sure.
And I'm looking forward to it.
Right.
I got to work tomorrow, but you know what? I'm not going to wake up with a hangover tomorrow.
Right.
I'm
No.
not going to wake up in jail.
Right.
I'm not going to lose any friends tonight.
Have to apologize for things I don't remember.
Or get told the things you don't remember and just be like,
No way. No way. Yeah. I got to the point where I just laughed at them.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I did what?
Oh, here's a video.
wake up in some other town than you started the night in.
Yeah.
Broke.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the things.
We went to a little bit of a war story for everybody today.
I got one too then.
So New Year's Eve night, we go out and, of course, I'm an alcoholic, among other things. But, New Year's Eve, it was definitely binge drinking and all that. And we're at Bowling Green. We get into a bar. The girl working obviously doesn't tend bar very often, and she's selling us top shelf whiskey for $5 a glass, And me with my ability to not be able to say no to it, we ran through several bottles before she finally realized. But it ended up that we made it to, my sister was in college there, and I made it to her house, and I got up in the middle of the night and just knocked everything over in her house.
Heck yeah.
And it's like, oh, sorry, sis. She was nice enough to, come get us because none of us could drive home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another one of those. New Year's is always something like that for me, though. It was always something bad. Yours are way worse.
Well,
though.
that's what I was going to say. Like, you've heard me talk about it before, and I don't believe I've ever talked about it on here, but just like my New Year's consecutively got worse and worse to the point where I wouldn't even leave the house. And I still kind of have that mentality, like, bad stuff kept happening. Like, I'd either end up in jail, or I'd be in a car wreck, and like the car be flipped upside down, or I'd fall off a roof, tripping on everything, and impale my leg on a fence. Like, it just kept getting worse. I was like, I'm cursed. When really, like, I was an idiot. My actions and everything I did, it was like, of course. But it was just like, why can't I have a good New Year's? And,
It's because of our drinking.
Drinking, drugging,
and
decision making.
On New Year's Eve, like, society is more okay with you being a binge drinker that night for whatever reason. You go to the bar, they'll normally cut you off New Year's, maybe not.
Yeah.
And like, it's just like I'm the person that needs to be cut off.
Yeah.
So I can get angry at you about it.
Well, like, and this might lead into another conversation, but like the time I fell off the roof and impaled my leg on a fence, I couldn't go to the emergency room that night.
Right.
So they just duct taped my leg shut, and the next morning I go to the immediate care, and they're like, I take off this duct tape wrapping, and there's a hole in my leg, and they're like, we can't do anything with this. You have to go to the emergency room right now. So I spent the whole New Year's Day in the emergency room. They had to stitch me together inside my leg to bring it close enough together to stitch me together on the outside of my leg. And I spent the next 6 months pooping sideways.
Right.
Heck yeah.
So that's not how you want to start out the year.
Like they say, whatever you're doing on New Year's is like what's going to happen the rest of your year's going to go. It's like, oh
yeah. So That's
Sorry.
not gonna happen tonight.
Sorry about your leg, bro.
Yeah, I mean, do you have a war story, Nathan?
Yeah. When I was in the military, we went off of Gate 2, and when I was in Okinawa, Japan, and I'd only been on base for 3 months at that time. And the drinking age, I was 19. Drinking age was 19 there. So everybody was running to the karaoke bar called Prince. And it was the first time that I was introduced to sake.
Oh.
I remember it was this bottle of alcohol that had this Haboose rattlesnake in it. And it was sitting, people eat all that stuff. But, oh well. So I got to drinking. Got the bright idea to go to some little shop upstairs of some dude's house to get my tongue pierced, which was definitely out of reg.
Right? Yeah, you're not supposed to do that in the military.
And so I had so much alcohol in me and went back to the bar, drank some more. I remember I was drinking a screwdriver and I come back with blood in my mouth. Well, apparently this guy that was a professional piercing artist, couldn't even speak English, hit the vein in my tongue.
Oh, nice.
So I had to go to the hospital. I was white because I was bled so much. I'd spit up like 3 Burger King size cups full of blood out of my mouth, and they had to take my tongue, pull it out, and cut the tongue ring out of my mouth. Blood clots all my mouth and everything. It was terrible. I got in so much trouble over that. And it was just like, woo, couldn't talk for like 3 days. It was ridiculous. Like, what the heck was I thinking? But it was great. It was New Year's, All started at a
What a great
Chili's.
story.
It all started at a Chili's, though,
Yeah. This is fun. Me and Sam have talked about doing a war story podcast on the side. I imagine it being something like this, because look, we've done a lot of stupid things, and a lot of them are actually pretty funny.
Right, now.
This far removed from it,
Right.
Like in the moment, those were terrible things.
Or they were funny to us, but nobody else that was with us thought
Now,
they were.
anybody else who had a nice, fun New Year's would be like, God, that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Like, it's just another New Year's for me.
Well, the New Year's for other people sounds boring. You know what I mean? Like, used to.
Yeah.
It used to sound really boring. If you weren't getting into some stuff for, it just wasn't fun. Didn't want to be part of it.
Oh, man, I remember it was always the pregame.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
before you went to the bar, I was already trashed.
Absolutely.
And then like.
Gotta save money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what I can sneak in.
I mean, it's just, and like now that, well, we're getting old.
If you didn't know. Oh, my God.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, if you can't tell by the gray hair. Matt's way older than he looks, so don't let him lie to you. And like I think about some of those things, during my using time. And I'm just like, man, you're lucky to be alive. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I remember many New Years, but like, I remember me and my buddy drank a 5th of vodka walking into the Derby one year. From the car to
Heck
the
yeah.
gate.
Right.
Because you couldn't take it in.
Right.
Just,
We always snuck it in, but
well, we had some of that too. I had the plastic flask,
Yeah.
strapped to the leg, but still, like, that's from a parking lot to the entrance. And it's
Yeah.
like,
100 yards.
do you remember any of it?
yeah, but we can't. We'd have to the way that day. It would have to be a different podcast.
Yeah. We built this one year. We had a cooler and we built a false bottom in it that was just completely.
Well, Dad taught me that like at 18. Look, you
Genius.
You put the beers in the bottom. In the liquor, and then you put that false bottom in them, ice and water on top.
Yeah,
take
bunch
it
of
right through the
food,
gate.
yeah.
Then you just rip that bottom out.
Yeah.
Good to go.
Worked.
I mean, I'm sure they knew.
They started
stick
crack
there.
that. Then, like after 9/11 happened, they cracked down. You
We
couldn't
could
even bring in a cooler.
Yeah, I went. My first Derby was the year before, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, mine too. We might have been.
We
at the
probably
same
were there.
Derby.
Which I was
We
false
talked about how we
bottoms.
lived in Louisville at the same time and didn't know each other. That would be wild.
Yeah, that's
Both
the
at the
same
Derby.
Derby. It was a great Derby.
Yeah, that was a wild one.
The dudes were running on top of the porta johns.
Yeah, it was the same one.
Holy crap. Look what we've done.
There's no way that me and Matt didn't pass each other.
We were probably standing in line to buy tickets, buy a race ticket or something. Yeah, we'll have to talk later. There's some other stories that day that are definitely not this podcast worth.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm glad to be where I am today, man. I'm looking forward to tonight with my wife, laying home on the couch, watching a movie, going to bed early, no worries, and getting up and coming to work tomorrow and trying to help people. You know, like that's what excites me today. You know, that's what my life's about. That's what brings me joy. And I'm glad, though, that it's going to be a new year. I'm ready to get back to the routine of things, all the holidays behind us. Like, this holidays was probably one of my favorite holidays in my life this year because, like, I was off this year. but like, I really took in, like, the meaning of Christmas and, like, got joy out of helping people. And it was just, like, it really felt like everything made sense this year because I've been like those first couple years sober were still struggles during the holidays, you know, even though we've done podcasts talking about the things to do to get you through those struggles. Like I did them and they got me through, but this year it was just like, you know,
man,
it was just cool.
A little bit more substance.
We'll be right back.
Did you know that recovery from substance use disorder and mental health go hand in hand? That is why the caring and compassionate mental health professionals at Four Rivers Behavioral Health in Paducah are here to help you find your balance. They are proud of you for making the changes necessary to live a healthier life and would love to see you reach your full potential. Give them a call at 270-442-7121 or stop by the downtown location at 425 Broadway in Paducah, Kentucky.
One thing I have always wondered is who put the alphabet in alphabetical order. At Turning Point, our goal is to help you put your life back in order. If you struggle or have struggled with substance use disorder and are in need of help, come see us at 415 Broadway Street, Paducah, Kentucky, or call 270-444-3621 and sign up for peer support services with one of our friendly staff who have lived experience with addiction. Hope to see you soon.
Like, it's almost like what we've been doing has become like just what it is.
Yeah. Oh, I say that all the time. Yeah,
and like,
absolutely.
We know Thanksgiving, we're going to be there doing our thing. You know, then Christmas, we're going to go spend it with our families and whatnot. But, you know, man, for as far as gratitude, like we were outside talking, I am really, really grateful for you two guys.
Yeah.
More than you know, y'all probably know, just because like, I'll have 5 years on the 7th, you know, and y'all are a huge part of my sobriety, both of you. And I mean, I think because we were all so close together and when we went through Centerpoint and we've been doing this together for so long, man, it's like, you know, like, I'm not sure it would be the same without you two. You know what I mean? For real.
I agree.
I mentioned that to a participant today, as a matter of fact. You know, a lot of my sobriety has absolutely everything to do with the people that are in it. You know, that's what's provided that substance, that meaning, you know what I mean? Because feelings are one thing, but it's like, to me, sometimes the people that have been with you through every bit of it, that's irreplaceable. You know, like, you know, now I've got the family and everything, but there's always those moving parts in there that maybe I don't think about all the time, but if they weren't there, like, where would I be? Where would I be if I hadn't have been around you guys through my tough times and stuff like that? If I didn't have that to fall back on when I can't help myself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And like, we all know who each other are.
Yeah.
Like not like just like work friends or,
Right.
you know, like we went through treatment together, all that kind of stuff. We really know who each other are. And I think that makes a huge difference, you know.
Yeah, we've helped each other through the hard times. We've opened up about things we probably wouldn't open up with anybody else about, and like we've taken suggestions from each other, and we've leaned on each other, and we've called each other out when we need to be called out. And that's what this whole thing's about, man, is having that support system. Like, I wish everybody could have the kind of support system that I have and you guys have with each other, and even other people that we work with. But it's like, you know, you got to find those people. You know, you got to rely on those people and be intentional about building relationships with them, because those are the people who are going to be there for you in the tough times, man. So, yeah, I'm truly grateful to have you guys too.
Yeah, man.
Cool. Yeah, truly blessed. So, this morning, doing morning meditation, I read a reading in the Daily Reflections that I've probably read.
Are those thick enough, or you need?
Yes,
need a new pair?
I'm about to put on my reading glasses for the listeners. to
It's a
prove
slow process.
just because Sam thinks I'm old. These aren't even real. You know?
I love that photo of you and all those guys ordering.
All my friends with our reading glasses on. We're getting old, bro. It's real. And I don't even know if I'll be able to read this, but
Well, if you need my help, I got you.
okay, thanks. But the thing is, like, I know that I've had to have read this every year. I've been sober,
Oh, yeah.
right? But today it just hit a little different, so I thought I'd read it for us, and we can kind of talk about it because I found it to be true. If I can even get these glasses on. All right.
Didn't think I'd be a little further down your nose.
December 31st, Daily Reflections. Daily Resolutions. The idea of 24-hour living applies primarily to the emotional life of the individual. Emotionally speaking, we must not live in yesterday nor in tomorrow, as Bill sees it, page 284. A new year, 12 months, 52 weeks, 365 days, 8,760 hours, 525,600 minutes. A time to consider direction, goals, and actions. I must make some plans to live a normal life, but also I must live emotionally within a 24-hour frame. For if I do, I don't have to make New Year's resolutions. I can make every day a New Year's day. I can decide, today I will do this, today I will do that. Each day I can measure my life by trying to do a little better, by deciding to follow God's will and make an effort to put the principles of our AA program into action. And man, that just hit me today because it's so true, man. Like, New Year's resolutions, people make them, they so often don't follow through with them. And I've done it, and to look at it through that lens of every day is a new day, like a new chance to improve yourself. Like, that's what this program, that's what I try to do, is be a little bit better. Just not just a hair better every day. And that's moving forward. You're not going to always do it by leaps and bounds, but am I willing to do what it takes today? And where it said action, like, putting in the action is the difference. Like, you can have all the knowledge, you can have all the treatment, you can say all the pretty things, but if you're not applying this on a daily basis to your life, you're not going to succeed, in the long run. So, like, that just hit me a little different today, and I thought it'd be an interesting one to share if anybody hasn't read it today and get your guys' perspective on it, because I know you guys are the same way. I mean, we do this job every day. This job is our life in so many ways, but because outside of working here, we all sponsor people, we all give back in various ways. So I don't know, that just hit me today.
Yeah.
What have I done for somebody else? That's always, I'd ask myself that every night. Did I do something for somebody else today? No matter how small that is, because like for me, it's like selfishness at the core. That's the thing. I'm a selfish, self-centered, self-delusional. I mean, just feel of self on left to my own devices. Right. Spirituality takes that away from us. And what have I done for somebody today? And have I done more good than I have bad? Because I'm not a perfect person.
Yeah.
Nobody is. And that's how I try to judge my day.
Yeah.
Because and have I achieved that little bit better? Was I a little bit better version of myself today? Like when these end of year times come, I think about where I was at one year sober, where I was at 2 years sober, and I feel like personally, and you can agree or disagree, that like my emotional sobriety compared to year one is. There's this big, huge
as it
difference.
should be, though.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Right? And you're right, as it should be, but that progress wasn't made
No,
in a
it was
day,
not.
right? It was made over the course of 5 years of trying.
The journey of it's beautiful.
And doing those inventories, having friends that do call you out on things. Be like, hey, man, have you taken a look at that? And trying to be that better person, right?
Yeah.
And it's always going to be the pursuit of perfection, not perfection, because we're not capable.
Yeah.
No, but that's the goal. And it's funny you say that because I just was having a pure sports session with a guy who's like 3 months sober, and he's like, it's so hard, and I don't know how I'm going to be able to do it, and I just keep making the same mistakes, and blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, you're 3 months sober, which is a great accomplishment, but you're you're still struggling. You still got a lot of character defects. This is going to happen, but you don't give up. You keep pushing forward. You keep applying. You keep learning. You keep relying on your support system. You keep building those relationships, all the things that, like you said, we're still works in progress. We still have character defects. We still are not perfect, but we've been doing it long enough that we've been able to catch them. We can see them. We have each other to catch them for us, and we're willing to put forth the action.
That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Willingness. Like, because I wasn't very willing to do much for many years of my life, right? It was everybody else was the problem, for one, not me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But like that willingness to be and taking that tough inward look at yourself. I mean, I think that nobody really wants to just be like, okay, what's wrong with my personality? What do I do that's not okay in the world? And trying to be a better person and trying to let go of wanting to do bad behaviors, right?
Right.
Because there was times in my life I enjoyed being a horrible person.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
It was beneficial, many different ways to me because I'm selfish, right?
Right. Yeah, when you don't care about anybody else but yourself, you can do all kinds of
Easy
things.
peasy.
Yeah, man, I agree. And that's what I tried to tell this guy. It's like, you got to change that perspective. Like, you're still so close to the addiction 3 months sober that those old behaviors and those, like, the knee-jerk reactions are your go-to. Like, you haven't learned. You're learning, but you haven't completely learned to control them, to recognize them, to stop, play the tape ahead, count to 10, like all those things that can keep cropping up. Anger, like fears.
Our answer for years had been use it, drinking or use it.
Right.
Like if I was angry, if I was sad, if I was lonely, if I was tired, if I was whatever the thing was, I had a great escape.
Right.
At least that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, we hit the F it button and we're like, I'm not going to deal with it right now, and it just was still there and got worse and worse.
Then
it wasn't the answer, right?
That's where the whole thing snowballs,
Yeah, and now we were able to see and recognize and catch and adjust, and that's
the old timer saying, you walked 20 years into the woods, you're not going to get back out in a day.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good analogy.
Yeah. I think for me, when I heard that reading, what really stood out to me is, emotionally speaking, I've learned a lot how to. Emotions are a big thing for me, and it really always has. But I think that's the bane of most people, especially their substance use. But I've learned how to leave emotions where they're at most times. Like, I used to have a real big problem with carrying things with me, things that are heavy, maybe home life to work or work life to home, and whatever this person said about me, or maybe I'm just having a general bad day. But I've gotten better through that because of this emotional outlet that I didn't realize that I've had, that I never utilized, was people, right? It was uncomfortable. Like, the action in my part was to reach out, to be emotionally available for people, and to allow myself to let people have space in my life. And that's something that I've really, really worked on throughout this whole process, not just getting sober. That was the big thing for me, is like letting people be in my life. And it's really helped because my life has expanded to now I'm a dad, now I'm, all these different things. So all that work I did in the background without even realizing that that's what that was, has turned into me being able to be a present boyfriend, partner, of a present dad, a present stepdad, all that kind of stuff. I have people that come to me, say, it's all of it's for something, but at the beginning of it had to be me doing it. That you hear that guy talk about, I'm 3 months, I don't know what I'm gonna do. A lot of times it's just biting down and doing it. Just taking that out, and it's uncomfortable. It sucks. I don't like coming and telling you guys sometimes that I've screwed up. You know what I mean? I don't like it. But if I don't
keeps you from doing it again.
If I tell on myself, a lot of times it's like, okay, I didn't like that. Let's not do that again. You know what I mean?
That didn't feel good.
Yeah. So
we'll be right back.
Hey, y'all. Did you know it's illegal to own just one guinea pig in Switzerland because they get lonely? Here at Turning Point, we don't want you to ever be lonely either. That's why we're open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Always feel free to come hang with our friendly staff, and don't forget your guinea pig. We're located at 415 Broadway Street, downtown Paducah. As a woman in recovery, I know how important having a fellowship of women has been for me. Come join us at the Women of Worth All Recovery Support Group here at Turning Point, 415 Broadway, Paducah, Kentucky, every Friday night at 6 p.m., where we discuss our personal experiences in recovery. Hope to see you there.
You know, like, as Nathan's talking, I was sitting there thinking about how each one of our lives are different. Our home lives are different, you know?
Yeah.
And the recoveries have looked similar and different all at the same times. But, like, I really feel like you were both genuinely happy people, you know? And I feel like I'm a genuinely happy person today. I know what that is, you know? And, like, I don't – and you can just see it on you some days, you know? Like – and it's just good stuff, you know? Like – because I remember when – neither one of you were, well, Nathan was kind of giddy to be there, but you weren't.
No.
And I was real happy still to be there, you know. And it's a whole different aspect of this thing. But it, you know, with the reading, that was done a day at a time.
Oh, 100%.
With a whole lot of mistakes along the way, and a whole lot of growth and things. And the most important thing was we didn't make the big mistake, which would go back out there.
Yeah.
We had each other to lean on. We had our support systems, you know, and luckily we work at a place where, you know, you can tell everybody, hey, man, I'm not having a good day.
Yeah.
And work it out, you know?
Yeah. It's like one thing that nobody could take away from any of us in recovery is that we've earned it. Okay. That's one thing that I do tell myself. Not a pat on the back or none of that, but I've walked every second of the last almost 5 years of my recovery. I felt every emotion, dealt with every situation, and did my best to make the right decision. And whether it was uncomfortable or not, and taking on different things in my life that I never thought I would. And just like you guys have too, you know, you get married, you know, things that happen in people's lives. We've walked every bit of it. So that happiness, that joy that we get to feel, they talk about in these readings and stuff, you know, it comes to the point you earn that. You know what I mean? That's what I believe. I don't know if other people.
There's a saying that, you know, I brought up one that I liked, and this is going to be one I don't like that I hear in the rooms all the time. Yeah. Is I'll be like, hey, man, how are you doing? Oh, I'm doing better than I deserve.
And I'm I don't like that either.
I'll stop a person like, hey, man, have you put in work today? Have you come to a meeting? You've helped somebody else. I feel like if you're not the same person, so you're getting exactly the desire you deserve, my friend, 100%. Which is a good one because you put in the work.
Yeah.
We're still out
you're
there
showing the willingness to do the things that you need to do that are good for you.
Don't downsell that past. You know what I mean? Because it's in that's
because we could so easily make the old mistakes and the old decisions.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that we say no to a drink and a drug every day and choose choose to work on our emotional sobriety, which is huge. Like maintaining that, which is it's hard, it's huge, it's important, it's necessary, but we're willing to do that and to, like we said, open up to a friend about what you're going through. Like that takes courage. That takes boldness. It's like there's no pride in that. You're having to admit, hey man, I can't do this. Like I can't. I need help. At least if it's not just an ear to lend. You know, you tell me that you understand. You've been there. You know, and nobody can take that away from you. So.
No, man. If you're doing good, you know, and you're one of us. You deserve it because I know you put in the work. It just didn't happen for you,
right? No, and I agree to that. That's been me this entire time. Because I knew to get to where the people I saw where I wanted to be. I see what they if you want what they want to have, do what they do. That whole thing. But I knew I had to work. I wasn't just going to be gifted that. I knew there had to be action. There had to be sacrifice in the form of making some uncomfortable decisions or, you know, setting up boundaries with things that wasn't good for me, you know, all kinds of stuff. And it's almost, you said earlier, you know, it's just kind of what we do now. It's almost become,
second nature.
It is. And it's not, you know, and I'm not discounting the fact that getting sober and changing your life is hard, but it does get easier.
It's as normal as brushing your teeth in the morning now.
Well, yeah, you do it often enough. As long as we've done it, it becomes your routine.
Yeah,
it becomes second nature. Like anything, any new skill you learn, you know, becomes second nature. You didn't jump on a bike and ride it the first time, you know, successfully, you know. So it took you falling down a few times and getting back up and being like, hey, I'm going to get this. I'm going to figure this out. Before, you know, you're riding a bike, you're popping wheelies, you know, and you're doing things like that.
And falling down ain't the end of the world, man.
No.
You know, it's just, hey, man.
Scars give character.
Yeah, they do.
Get up and do it again. It's when we quit getting up and doing it again that, you know.
Yeah.
It's just, when I realized when I was doing my fifth step, you know, it's one of my character defects, you know, working on those things, was I was holding myself to a standard that was so much higher than everybody else in my life, you know? Like, just love to pick that baseball bat up out of that bag and just start beating me. Hey, you did this one little thing. It's all, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't do that nowadays. You know, that's through work. That's gone away. I don't wake up and feel like I'm the worst person on earth, you know? And I mean, like, it took a while to get there, you know? And I think early in recovery, that's what we got to remember is like, hey.
It's a journey.
It's a journey.
Right. And as long as, like, you're willing to learn from those mistakes, like, that's a huge thing, too, right? Like, okay, I recognize that. And, you know, I'm not going to beat myself up about it, but I am going to try to change some things. You know what I mean? Like, that's...
And then if you get to the, like today, my past, I'm not changing any of it. No. I'm not proud of it, but, like... I've come to the point where I like who I am, right? Yeah. A lot. And I feel like other people do too, you know, like the people that's known me. And it takes that to get to here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You
know?
have to learn to love yourself, you know, and we couldn't do the things we do today and help the people we help today without those experiences. You know?
I know, like,
so
I mean, like, so I'm grateful for all the struggles and the hard times today, you know, and all those times. And, I wish I hadn't hurt some of people along the way, of course, you know, but like, I mean, I feel like because of all those struggles, like we get to help people in a way that other people can't because they haven't been through them, you know?
Right.
So I mean, it's like I've taken my checkered past and used it for a better future for me and hopefully for some other people. I feel like I've helped some people along the way a little bit, you know, they still have to do the work, but, you know, being that guiding voice is a lot.
Catalyst.
All we can do is try to help people, man. You know, like they do have to step up at some point, and that's like I told this guy, like you have to continue to be willing. You have to realize that it's a journey. You have to dust yourself off and keep going, and you know,
find gratitude in the journey.
But the thing is,
You
like,
know?
I love exactly, but I love telling these people this, and it's like, here's what is exciting. I know you can do it.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, because
Like,
I've
they don't
done
think
it.
they can,
You
but
guys
you
have done
they
it.
know they can.
I've
You know
seen
they
it
can.
1,000 times. You can do it.
Like,
you know?
if you do these things, you can do it. And like,
if I can do it, you can do it.
I've seen so many
Sure,
people.
you know?
I've seen so many hopeless, quote unquote, hopeless cases that have turned their lives around and use it to do good.
I'm looking at 3 of them. I'm looking at 2, and then I know I was. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
I was wrote off.
Yeah.
I was talking to my dad, and he was like, you know, I really thought I lost you there for a while, but he's like, I'm really proud of the man you become, and I mean, bro, I cried a little. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, that's
a
always
compliment
good.
from pops. You know, they don't come easy, and but like, man, I'm proud of me too, which I think is more important than somebody else being proud of you sometimes. You know,
Yeah, I don't
finding
know.
that gratitude in the work you're doing. You know, and
Right. Well, if we're doing things for other people, and like to make other people proud of us, we're doing them for the wrong reasons
Right.
anyway. So yeah, absolutely agree, man.
but it meant a lot. I know that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's just those confirmations that you need. I mean, everybody needs that every now and then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a little pat on the back.
Yeah, some
let you know you're doing good.
confirmations. Some days I don't feel like patting myself on the back. You know what I mean?
Some days I probably shouldn't have one. The ego's already inflated enough.
Well, you know, you talk about the journey and everything, but this is that whole journey every day that we've walked is netted us so many things to look forward to now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Things aren't so bleak. Like, I actually have plans. I have goals and aspirations and ways that places that I'm trying to get to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, used to it was just whatever. I don't care. You know, it never was it that I ever aspired to I would, in my mind, it's like, yeah, maybe I need to change because everybody else around me has a problem with the way I'm doing. But it was never, well, I need to change because my life's going to crap.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or I have no direction in my life. But nowadays, it's like, I feel like I have a pretty clear-cut path, maybe with little bumps in the road, but like I'm on the positive trajectory here somewhat. And, you know, not getting off topic, but talking about what, you know, looking forward to 2025, you know, I'll be starting school for my bachelor's degree.
Yeah, man.
You know, that's a goal that I'd set for myself a while ago, and here I am. You know,
still doing it.
Yeah, I've gotten hopefully maybe getting married. You know,
yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you if it was time to.
It's getting close.
Time to lock it
I've
down.
already asked
you know?
Matt where I need to get the ring at. So
yeah.
you know, and Nikki don't watch podcasts, but please don't let this be one she watches. But anyway, I've been thinking about that.
She knows it's coming.
She knows
bro.
it. Thinking about, you know, things like getting a house, things like that were just so beyond. It used to just be, yeah, I'll get me a house someday. Now it's real. Now it's in your face.
Like
you
it
know,
might actually happen.
actually happen. You know what I mean? It's like, what? And it's going back to, I feel like I've earned it. You know what I mean?
did.
I'm okay with accepting that I have a bright future, that I'm happy with the fact that I'm so settled in my life that, yes, good things can happen to me finally, and I can
I'm
appreciate
grateful I don't have to pack around somebody else's pee at a job anymore, you know? On a daily basis.
it. Oh, P Jug Sam. No, I'm just kidding.
Look, man,
that's a good grateful.
Yeah, you know, like I was sitting there listening. I was like, yeah, I had those aspirations sometimes when I was still out there, but I wasn't willing to change what I was doing. So, but what I was willing to do, I was willing to pack around somebody else's pee in my pocket every day at work because I knew that random was coming.
Just in case, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's sad. And like I was talking today in morning meditation, like. For years in the madness, I would say around this time every year, like next year's gonna be the best year ever. Yeah, and they just kept getting worse. Like
I'm just gonna stop saying it.
Why? What's wrong? Why do they just keep getting worse and worse? And I'd still say like, no, this year, and then another terrible year, and it's like. These last few years, they really have gotten better and better. And like this year was one of the best. This year was one of the best years of my life.
Using heroin and drinking, that your life gets better. You know,
wow,
crazy how that works.
Golly.
So yeah, man.
There's the formula, guys. Just don't do that.
If it was just that simple,
Right,
you know, like you know, like it's just so, you know, in my brain, I'd be like, you know, I'm gonna cut back and I'm gonna do things. I'm gonna be serious about my life.
Nah. It sounds stupid.
No, the disease was in full-fledged, you know, mode.
Yeah.
Just
I got to the point. There was no New Year's resolutions to improve myself. It was like I'd accepted it, and it was miserable, you know. And I don't make New Year's resolutions today, really, either. But I do that. I do, like the reading says, work on myself a little bit every day, and I'm willing to do that and notice things and apply what I know to be true. So, and I know you guys are too. And I love you guys.
Love you too.
Love you too, buddy.
You guys have a great year. I know we are going to do lots of wonderful things to help people this year, and I'm excited to see, you know, all that happens. And
I'm just waiting for you to start graying like me, man. You know, you've got these years on me
this year.
I wonder if I'm going to be full gray. If I'm going to be full gray before he goes gray.
Oh, for sure.
I'm going gray. It's just, you know.
Look at you.
Oh, it's there. Yeah, I know.
I'm getting facial reconstructive surgery.
Oh yeah, we forgot to talk about your black eye tomorrow.
We're not going to be jumping Matt in or anything.
So if anything, I'm going to get better looking.
Okay.
Oh,
Does that mean you're going to come to work without the hat on now?
I do every now and then.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I wear a hat. I got this huge knot on my head, and it's going to be gone.
yeah. Prayers for Matt. He's going to have surgery.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
It'd be cool if they just took like something and just put it on her head and popped it with a hammer real hard, popped it back
Who knows
in.
what
Like
Probably pop his eyeball out of socket, you know?
walk around with it. You know.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, good luck with that.
All right. I love y'all. Check us out on YouTube or listen to our audio versions on Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon Music. And as always, stay grateful.
If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction or in recovery and needs guidance, Speak with Turning Point's team of peer support specialists by calling 270-444-3621. You are not alone, and we are proof that recovery is possible.